Now, driving through Manchester earlier on, you can see what's happened to this city. You can see what's happened to many other of our great industrial and post-industrial cities. They are in terminal and endless decline. They are full of immigrants. Their social amenities are rotting away. They have Labour rotten borough leaderships that only represent themselves and small cliques and related circles. There's going to be quite a bit of activity in the gay zone, or gay village, down in the centre of Manchester now, because civil partnerships have just become law. So there'll be quite a few pseudo-wedding ceremonies down there, no doubt. Because, unfortunately, the American model prevails in our declining metropolitan and municipal areas. So what's happening is that as the white population, working class and middle class, because Manchester's middle class went to Cheshire, as everyone knows, a long time ago, which is why there isn't a Tory virtually anywhere in the city at representative level, they've gone, and the white working class is partly left and has partly spread out to get away from the immigrant concentrations in the centre. But just like these cities in the US, like Atlanta and others, that went down the toilet for a while, there is an attempt to revive them, with rinky-dink flats for yuppies right in the centre, with warehouse apartments and blocks, with alternative society and scene-type zones, such as the one I mentioned before, and for sort of alternative white left types to drift back into the centre of the city and enjoy, in a sense, the slight decadent frisson in relation to what it's become. And they spend a lot of money, they tend to be single people, and they revive, in inverted commas, the decaying centres of burg, of urban areas as they go down.
But Obama is typical of what that country has become, and we are such an Americanized society now, look around you, in the country and the culture as a whole, that what often goes there happens here. The gang culture, which I mentioned in Birmingham, proliferated in Los Angeles and other big cities in the United States, has come here after a lag of 10 to 20 years. Deep polling by the BBC thinks that many people are deeply worried that there'll be conflict in this culture, worried that there's no one to lead them, worried about the collapse of our identity in various forms, and we are in considerable collapse. You don't have to go around many of our cities. You notice the decay in the infrastructure, you notice the amounts of blatant criminality. Where are the police? You see the police as they drive around in their cars and they fly over cities in their numbered helicopters. They're all dressed in yellow now, so you can see them from a distance, but they're firemen. They come at the end. They come after it's kicked off. They get out of the wagon when people are lying on the ground. They come at the end, not at the beginning. They're just to put it out and dampen it down. They see their remit as partly preventing inter-community tension, rather than solving crime and dealing with some of the gangs that I've talked about proliferating in inner Birmingham and elsewhere. So this country's in trouble. And the masses have got to serve some stomach for once. And they've got to be prepared to vote for radical people who will clear out New Labour. Clear them out. Here in the north, in the south, in the east, in the west, outside England, within Britain and elsewhere. Clear them out! And the Tories will do no good either. You've got to clear them out. And the Liberals are just a block in between the other two that give the other two their ideas. All the sort of destructive ideas that Phillips is in favour of and that I talked about earlier. You've got to clear them out as well. There needs to be a new start. But there is only really one option for this country, and that is to vote for a party which is patriotic, which is British, which is elitist, which is nationalistic, which believes that the only socialism or the only social concern that really is validated by history, by genetics, by identity, is patriotism. Patriotism is the only thing that ties people together within a group in their difference.